We're going to start this class in child's pose. Bring your knees to the edge of the mat, your toes to touch. Extend your arms long. Plant your forehead on the ground and just take a moment here to settle in, to prepare your body for some movement, to clear your mind, to set the intention for the class. Intention of playfulness and strength, and to let go of any judgment toward yourself or self-doubt. Walk your hands over to the left and let your right side body open up. And walk your hands over to the right and let your left side body open. And return to center. Tense your fingers and walk your fingers out far out as they can go. Lift your head off the mat and have it in line with your biceps. Now ground your hands down, lift up, roll your back up, and we'll come into an upward facing dog. Push the floor away, roll your shoulders down and back. And plant your knees and slither back to a tall seated position. Place your hands on top of your shoulders and circle your arms in. Nice big circles. And go in the opposite direction. And place your hands on the ground in a tabletop position. Drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, push the floor away. Move through cat-cow in your breath. And when you're in the cat position, I want you to really envision this position when we're moving into our crow. So today we're going to work on crow. So this rounding of our back, you will have in your crow position as well. Protracting our shoulders. Push the floor away. Now come to a neutral spine and we'll move through dancing lines just to warm up our wrists. Circle your shoulders over your wrists. Nice big movement. Don't think too much about it, just move and have fun. And switch directions. And come to center. Place your hands out in front of you. Untuck your toes and come into a plank position. Shift your weight forward. Lower yourself all the way to the ground through chaturanga. Extend your left arm long. Tempt the fingers of your right hand. Bend your right knee and roll onto your left hip. Stretch out your shoulder here. And return to center and switch sides. And return to center. Come into a Sphinx pose. Ground your forearms down. Roll your shoulders down and back. Press your hips into the floor. Squeeze your glutes. Now tuck your toes and come into a forearm plank. So crow pose is a lot of core strength. That's really what it is. Yes, you need upper body strength, but all of it is, so much of it is core. We're just gonna work on our core by holding this plank for just a few more seconds. Feel your core fire up. Nice strong plank, straight line here. And plant your left hand down and your right hand. Come to a plank position or pillar position here. Step your right foot in and your left. And we're in a hovering tabletop. Feel your core fire up in this position. And drop your knees to the ground, untuck your toes. Inhale, sweep your right arm up, and then thread it through and extend your left arm long. Peel your shoulder blades away from your spine. Feel the stretch in your back. Plant your left hand down. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. Plant your right hand down and switch sides. Inhale, lift up your left hand, thread it through. Extend your right hand long. And place your right hand on the ground. Inhale, sweep your left hand up and place it down. Tuck your toes, come back to that table hover. Shift your weight to your right foot and left hand and tap your right hand to your left knee and switch sides. Just a little more core work. Really activate our core so that when we're in crow, we know what we're supposed to be doing. One more on each side. And shift your weight back to a turbo dog. So you might have to adjust your hands a little bit there. Chest is to thighs. Press equally through both hands. And drop your heels. And just take a moment to pedal out your dog. And find your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up, three-legged dog. Bring your knee to your nose, round your back, cheetah. Hug it in, push the floor away here. Extend back. We'll do that again. Hug in, cheetah, push away. And extend back. And one more time. And extend back. Place your right foot on the ground and we'll switch sides. Inhale, sweep your left leg up. Knee to nose, push the floor away. Extend back. Push away. Can really think about that core compression there. Extend back. Push and extend. Plant your left foot on the ground. Come onto your tippy toes. Walk your feet up to your hands. Hug your belly in. Think about compressing your core here. So with crow pose, a lot of it's compression of the core. Come into a ragdoll position. Stretch out the whole back side of your body here. Hands to elbows, knees bent. You can sway back and forth here. And if you can envision, this is almost the starting point of our crow. So enjoy the stretch. Feel your back body open up here. And plant your hands down, walk your toes to touch, bend your right knee, ground your right hand down. Inhale, sweep your left hand up, gaze at your hand, or you could take a bind. And release the spine. Place your left hand on the ground. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. Stay here or take a bind. And release the spine. Place your right hand on the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your torso. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. Take your right hand, hold on to your left wrist. Drop your hips to the left as you reach to the right. Inhale, reach up and switch sides. Inhale, reach out, cactus your arms, and we'll protract our shoulders here. Inhale, lift up, cactus. Exhale, protract. Inhale, cactus. exhale, protract, sweep your arms up and bend your knees, come into a chair pose. Hug your belly in. Bring your hands to your heart and lower all the way down to a toe stand. Plant your hands on the ground, untuck your toes, and come to a tall kneeling position, our hero's pose. Plant your hands next to your thighs. From here, we're gonna press up with our knees, compressing our core, which will help us in crow pose. So ground your hands down, hug up, push the floor away, and release down. And we'll do that again. Press up and release. Press and release down. Okay, we're gonna dive into breaking apart this crow. If you already have your crow, that's great. We can maybe move on and work on some other things. But like this would be a good opportunity to try your single leg crow, which is very challenging. I haven't quite gotten that one yet, but that's okay. So stick with me, even if you have crow, or you can just play with your crow and strengthen your crow and improve it. There's always room for improvement. So when first starting out teaching crow, I like to tell people to stand on a block, because where I see a lot of people go wrong with crow is they bend their arms and it kind of like looks like that a little bit, right? But where with crow, your knees are like in your armpits, essentially. You'll have like deodorant marks on your leggings here. So place your hands on the ground. So because I'm elevated, it's a lot easier to get my knees into my armpits area and balance on my tricep. Create the spider fingers here. And what you can start, if you're very new to this, you can start by just kind of lifting one foot and the other. If you have that and you kind of just want to dive in, I'll give you some tips. So it's all core. It really is. It's your core lifting you up. So there's not like all of your weight on your arms. So when you're up here, your gaze is forward, core is engaged, and it is a shift of weight. So if you can envision, even if you're feeling wobbly and you're not sure about this shift of weight, even standing here and just rocking back and forth. So your knees are up, the very tip top of your triceps, and you're rocking. So you can feel what that feels like of the shift of weight you need. And then if you can think of all these core exercises we did with the compression, when you're actually like lifting your core up, you're lifting your seat up, so there's a lot less pressure on your arms, and it's a little easier to find that float and keep your gaze forward. So that's gonna help your balance as well. You could always put like a crash pillow here or something, just in case you fall. So then if you've done the block, and it's good to like come down and try again. A lot of times in yoga classes, you're not really given the opportunity to take time to try. So as I'm talking through some of these things you can do, keep playing with it. It's the best way to learn how to do something, is to just do it, right? Just try. So when you're, if you're ready to try without a block, or you don't have a block, you're gonna come all the way up on your tippy toes. So you see how far up I am. Like my seat is really high already. I'm not starting down here and trying to get up. My seat is really high. There's already the compression, and from here I can work on the 1 foot taps, or I can lift up. Can't do that and talk at the same time. So play around with that. If you want to progress to side crow, single leg crow, it's pretty challenging. I can't do it yet, one day. But one of the drills to work on for that is when you're in crow pose to shift your weight to your left leg and left arm, or right leg and right arm, and then see if you can just like move your right knee over. So when you're doing that, like all of your weight is on one side as your leg would extend. So I'll try that again as you guys are still playing with your crow. So you can do that drill, or you can just try to extend. See, it's all right. We all start out somewhere. That pose is very challenging for me. So if you're done playing with regular crow, let's move on to side crow, because side crow is pretty fun as well. So there are a couple ways to get into it, but we're gonna start in chair. And we'll bring our hands to our heart and twist to your right. Gaze at the ceiling. From here, you'll sink down actually to that toe stand we were in. Your hands are planted next to you, and you create a shelf with your arms. And again, it's a shift of weight. So I'll show you in this direction so you can see I'm creating a shelf, gazing forward, and it's a shift of weight. And if you can't get one side, try the other, because you'll always do one before the other. So when you're doing this, you really want to hook that tricep on your outside of your thigh. Bring your hands in like you're creating this twist, and then plant them. Ground your hands down, create this shelf, and as your head goes down, your feet go up. So you can pause the video, play around with that. If you're still playing around with crow, you can play around with crow, and I will, or you can just continue with me. We will meet at the top of our mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Take your right hand or your left hand, cross it over your right arm, and we'll just stretch out our backs a little, protract your shoulders, pull your hands away. So I'm in this like little chair stretching out here. Lift up, cactus, and switch sides. So left arm under right, protract, pull your shoulder blades away from your back. Inhale, lift up, come to hands to prayer. Take a breath in and let it out. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back, plank pose. We'll tuck our toes and come into an upward facing dog. Skip that chaturanga. Just take a moment to stretch out our abs here. Press the floor away. Shoulders down and back. Drop to your knees. Slither back. We'll do a little spinal roll here. Again, don't think too much about it. Just move your spine in a way that feels good to you. Tuck your toes, lift your seat, downward facing dog. Come onto your tippy toes, walk your toes up to your hands, push the floor away. Plant your feet down. Let's return to that ragdoll. Just give our body a moment here. You can swing back and forth. Release the spine, bring your toes to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up, rise up. Bring your hands to your heart. And we will lower all the way down. First to our toe stand, and then to our seat. Extend your legs forward, reach your arms long out in front of you. Tuck your belly in, use your core to lower all the way to the ground. Hug your right knee to your chest, cross it over your left side body. Inhale, sweep your right arm up and around. Gaze at your right hand. Return to center, switch sides. Hug your left knee to your chest, extend your right leg long. Cross it over your right side body. Circle your left arm up and around, gaze at your left hand. And return to center. Give yourself a quick little hug, knee to nose. Extend your legs long, reach your arms long for a good morning stretch. And circle your arms out, down to the side, palms facing up. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths. One final breath, breathe in and fill up your lungs all the way. And side out. Roll onto your right side. Press into your left hand, come to a tall seated position. And bring your hands to your heart. I hope you have enjoyed this quick little core tutorial and it helps you achieve your crow pose. If you have any questions, please reach out.